Okay, so I think we've had enough doom and gloom this week. We went over some of the ridiculous examples of opinions and tomfoolery with comments, repeated cut and paste assembly line, toe the line, angry pant posts all over the internet. Hell, some of them even tried coming here with a take it to the street style combative attempt to reinforce the regurgitation, and I'll touch on that in a few. Yes, sir, it's been a wild roller coaster of a week, and it really kicked off with the brief post and trailer about Season 2 and what's coming and perhaps what's not coming. And while certain corners of the gamerverse are gonna sling insults, talk about quitting the game for the 50th time, waffle about their opinions for engagement purposes, I'm heading back into the game because while I do think there's always room for improvement in all things, I can still have a ton of fun while I wait. So, it's the end of the week. I try to make my videos ready to roll no later than 12 hours before their scheduled launches. Gives me a little breathing room in case the YouTube overlords find something wrong with my video. Now, I mention this because the video here will be ready before EA drops patch notes on the inbound fixes coming with the launch of Season 2. They made mention in the community update on X that they drop further details by end of week with complete update notes covering all the changes. I'll have a link to both the community update and EA news in the video description if you want to take a look. And the trailer is at the end of the video for you to check out if you haven't done so already. That sounds kind of weird to me, since we all have the internet and a simple search will pull it up, but I didn't include something in a video once. I got a slew of comments about the missing part, so I just added it anyway, necessary or not. I've said my piece about my opinions regarding this announcement, so there's really no need to keep going into the paint about it. People are going to piss and moan about it and trash anyone not towing their line, so forget them. I'm going to keep playing this game until I get tired of it. A player drop count, slow content drops, and content creators and their disciples aren't going to dictate to me how I have fun. I do that all on my own, not them. No, sir, I'm going back to taking dog tags, long sniper headshots, and tank sniping helicopters, and that section of weirdos can just kick rocks. There's your disclaimer, folks. Naysayers can kick rocks. Blind following disciples, not knowing the difference between content creators and influencers, can vacate now. Hoodrats live here, and we do hoodrat stuff. So, since Bellum 1988's Metro map launch, I've been looking at Portal a lot more. Initially, I was kind of holding off on it because of the whole XP bug fix we're still waiting for. But that X fiasco and the resulting internet friendship gained with Bellum 1988 got me thinking of Portal more intently. So, I hopped onto some profiles to check out some stuff. Now, initially, when I played on Bellum's Metro map, I experienced some slow-motion rubber banding. I wasn't sure why at first, but it wasn't terrible. After Bellum reached out and said he was in Spain, the rubber banding made more sense. So, I hopped on again, but this time I hosted it and had zero latency, zero rubber banding, and I had no frame tearing. Went pretty smooth. I had a lot of fun on Bellum's map and had a blast when I hosted it. It has a scotch more room than the original. Not as tight, which I appreciated. Okay, I'm making an assumption here, but this assumption is based off a certain era of game development standards. EA may not have brought this map officially to Battlefield 6 yet, as there may be third-party proprietary design code that cannot come to Battlefield 6, partially due to licensing and permissions, as EA doesn't own that section of the design code. Now, if that's not the case specifically for Metro, it may simply be that the original design needs to be reworked to fit Battlefield 6's engine. This is often a compatibility issue and would require a pretty decent-sized team to tackle it, which will take time. And that's if they want to bring it into Battlefield 6. Either way, right now, we have Portal profiles drumming up as close a rendering as possible for the time being. My suggestion is to host his map to get people more involved, and involved often. It would be a fast way to get EA's attention to bring the map back officially. You know, if you don't entirely subscribe to EA is just corporate greed and completely ignores the fan base narrative. Next up, we have Faithwalker's profile. Man, I had a ton of fun on this hardcore Conquest. Started off with Liberation Peak. I didn't get into hardcore in previous titles. Now, back then, that was the place for all the sweat gameplay, and it wasn't a time in my life where I could grind out multiple hours a day of practice to get better. So I didn't want to get frustrated in a game mode where I got stomped left, right, and center, so I didn't run it often back then. Now, nary a sweat in sight the entire time I played, which was odd as I expected chaos and such, but nope. It was actually the opposite. It was chill. So much more deliberate pacing and less slide, jump, bunny hopping nonsense. Felt more grounded. It was a standard map layout, which I didn't have an issue with at all. It was actually the charm of it. We were all familiar with it, and had a bit more time available to low crawl around to get to a good lined up shot or ambush. If you were like me back then and avoided the sweaty kids in hardcore, I would recommend checking out a hardcore Portal map now. For me, it was a completely different vibe, not only from the previous hardcore, but also compared to non-Portal Conquest sessions. There's some minor controversy about hardcore not being a fully featured mode in Battlefield 6. According to the official statement, hardcore ended up being a very small niche of mode to promote like the old days, while players are saying that's not true. I'm not here saying who's right or who's wrong about that. That's not here in this video. I will say if you find a hardcore map in Portal, play it and come back to me. I'm interested in your thoughts on the mode. Did it feel different from the older days? Were you new to it completely and tried it out for the first time? What did you think? Who remembers this? Okay, this was fun. HappyCampr and BF Dale had a few things going on here. So we got the whole Domovan Peak base jump nostalgia here on this map, which was super fun, by the way. It wasn't a recreation of that map, though. That's not a criticism, just pointing it out. This was an original build, and it was tight with a huge open lane between capture points. It also had a slew of places to land from the initial base jump and take up sniper spots. And there was no bots either, which was surprising in a good way. Now, I came into the match in the middle of the session, so I'm not sure... I don't exactly have an idea how many minimum players were needed to start the game. Okay, finally, we have another map from HappyCampr and BF Dale. They took Mirak Valley and gave it a Galicia feel from Battlefield 1. Now, I'm one of the few people who like Mirak Valley. And I like this version of it just as much. They added a slew of trenches, which gave it that Galicia vibe, and changed out some of the building structures. Now, if you notice in the footage here, we have some HappyCampers on the construction site area, so if you hop onto this map, be aware of that. Just keep your head down and use the trenches. Also, it seems this profile disabled the slide mechanic, so keep that in mind. It would be interesting to see what this map looks like if they update it with the little bird and dirt bikes. Oh, and speaking of dirt bikes, sweet Lord, pass me some ammo! It looks like dirt bikes are coming to Battlefield 6. This vehicle has been on my wish list, and I'm very happy to see it showcased in the trailer suggesting its arrival. Now, some of you watching this may go, I'm sorry, what? That's what makes you happy? Well, yes. Yes, it does. I'm not hard to please, my dudes. And oftentimes, it's the little things that amuse me. The game does have a huge player drop. I'm not dismissing that. The game should have more content. I'm not dismissing that either. The game needs to have some bugs fixed. Again, not dismissing it. The funny thing is this. I never did dismiss those things. What I dismiss is the high-intensity outrage and crash-outs from everyone doing it about a video game. It's a video game. Nothing more for the mass majority of people raging about it. Is it really worth the potential embolism you're giving yourselves when it fails to meet your expectations? Does it really require insulting people, minding their own business, doing their thing, and having fun with it? If a game upsets me that bad, I walk away from it. I decide for myself that I don't like this game, or I won't play it anymore, and I move on. I did this with The Division 2. I just didn't like where the game was going, and after 7 years of non-stop play, I decided to walk away. I moved on and decided to do Battlefield 6 instead. And I didn't have a heart attack about it. That's pretty much my whole take on games in general. If I'm enjoying a game with the time I spend in it, I don't care about player count, aggressive or passive content drops, more weapons or skins. That doesn't mean I'm settling. Settling means I accept it as it is without taking it further. What I'm doing is that I'm enjoying the game presently and expecting bigger, better, stronger, and faster. But there's a more constructive way to demand and expect. EA sends out feedback emails all the time. I got one earlier this week. There's the official Discord where you could express the feedback, as there is EA staff monitoring it. If you get the invite to labs, there's another avenue. You have official X accounts and forums. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that do all those things. I'm also sure a lot don't. Whether you're blasting helicopters with tanks or air defense launchers, dropping claymores in unexpected places, dropping C4 on campers, going around reviving with a defib like a rat in a maze, or hell, sledgehammering people in the face as if it's the only weapon you have and you're having fun doing it, man, don't let others tell you you're not having fun or shouldn't be having fun because they're unhappy. Whether it's this game or something else. You always know how much money you have. You never know how much time you have. You could spend your free time enjoying what's in front of you and still expect more or better, or you could spend your limited time whining about a game. I choose the former and pity the latter. Hey, look! I made a full video without cussing. Would you look at that? You're fucking welcome, guy on couch. I do appreciate everyone sticking around to watch the video. Now, we have the most important part of the video before I drop the trailer here, as I promised earlier. Open the video description and scroll down to the very bottom. Feel free to skip all the socials and ways to support this channel. You'll find this month's Veteran Support Group Spotlight. I do one every month. See if the link there is something you'd be interested in supporting. Now, some of you have sent direct messages about vet spotlights you'd like to see on the channel. I've already made a note of them and have them on standby in the rotation for the next coming up months. So, if you have a vet support group you'd like to see me spotlight, send them to me. And that's a wrap, folks. Here's the trailer. Out.